Hey Mike,
Hey Heather,
how are you?
fine and yourself?
Doing good, thanks. What's new with you?
Not too much. I did a 4-day cruise since the last live stream, and
Oh,
otherwise not too much.
that
I
sounds
saw the
interesting.
David Blaine magic show, although that was actually before the previous live stream. So it's been kind of a quiet 2 weeks.
Cool. So, was it the kind of cruise ship that had like a water park slides on it, and
It
there was,
did.
shows and what
Yep,
other
it was.
things were?
Yep, it had all that stuff. It had two pretty big water slides, and it did have a great big theater, but I didn't see any shows in it. They only had a show in it one night. Um, and But yeah, it was on the Carnival Radiance, and so a cruise is a cruise. They're kind of all the same, but and I'm normally not kind of a cruising person, but if you have a whole family, something that's easy to agree on. Um, and once you sign up, all you don't need to do a lot of homework about what to do. You just show up, and um, they give you a whole choice of things to do at any given minute.
So, what are some things that you did that you really enjoyed?
Well, it rained throughout the whole cruise, and the only
Oh,
places we stopped were Catalina and Ensenada. And I had been to both places before many times, so I was a little bit bored with them. But made the best of it, and just had a relaxing time, but no really huge adventures or memories to speak of.
okay. Um, so while we are while everyone's joining us, while we're getting this started, if you guys have a question for Mike, please put it in the chat and we will get to it in the order that it was received. And we have a magic trick and trivia for you guys. So that's going to be exciting. Do you want to show us your magic trick?
Okay, so
Cool.
this one, it's going to be kind of hard to demonstrate without someone to do it on. Um,
I'll try.
okay, so this is how it works. I have a normal die, I have a small film can, and a large film can. And what I would do is I would ask somebody to put this die in the small film can with any side up, and I would turn around um, while they put it in the can. And and you're just going to have to take my word for it that I'm not going to peek. In fact, I'm going to turn around and put this in. I'm going to shake this up, and I don't know if the camera can see this. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, we could see it.
Okay, so there's the lid of the can, and that's the big can. Okay, so here's the die, and I'm going to put this in the can. Again, normally you would have a participant do this, and then you would tell them to close the can by putting the lid on it, and then it's safe for me to turn around. Okay, then I would say, okay, for extra security, I'm going to put this in the big can. And then I will say, okay, and you can do this lots of different ways, but I might do something like, okay, I'm going to say the numbers from 1 to 6, and you don't say anything. I'm just going to look for a little tell when I say your number. Then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your number was 4, wasn't it? Was it? Well,
Yes.
maybe you didn't see. But let's have a look here. Here's the can. And let's open it. And the number on top is,
It's a 3. It's
oh,
not a 4.
um,
Hey, at least you didn't
let me
look
try
at
again.
it.
Um, Again, and this is much more entertaining if you have a subject to do it. Okay, so I'll put the can in this hand. Okay, let's shake up the die nicely. Put it in. Put the lid on. Okay, now I can turn around. Okay, then I put it in the big can. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your number is a 3, right? Well, let's see. Maybe you guys didn't see it at the right angle. But the number on top is a 3.
Yay, we got it.
And I, again, will explain how to do this at the end of the show.
I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, hit me with some trivia.
Okay, will do. So we got some springtime trivia since the 20th was spring equinox. My first question is, what does the term vernal mean? And that's VERNAL. What does vernal mean? So if you guys know, put it in the chat. And while we are waiting for you guys to answer the trivia, our first question is actually a statement, and this is from Northern Jim. I deserve the wizard's finger of shame because this morning I won the king's bounty on a $25 side bet. First hand of the shoe, 2 kings of spades, plus the dealer blackjack, a $25,000 win.
Well, congratulations.
Nice.
I still can't but help. Little wag. That looks kind of obscene.
That looks so bad.
Heather.
I am horrible.
But no, it's still a sucker bet. So I can't approve, but nevertheless, I feel good for you. And again, congratulations.
That's fantastic. Okay, so our next question is from Jean. Today is National Puppy Day. What is your favorite puppy or dogs that you've owned in the past?
I've only owned one dog in my life, which is the dog I have right now, and that's Oliver. And when I was in college, my parents got a dog. That was Clyde, but he was not my dog. So there's my answer. It's the one and only Oliver. So Heather, what about you? I know I've met 2 of your dogs, but I don't know about any ones you had before.
I haven't had too many dogs as a puppy and then grew up with it. Like you said, only 2 dogs. Scooter, which was my Beagle Schnauzer mix, my Bowser. He had like a mohawk and everything, just like Bowser. He was so wonderful. And then Pip, which everyone knows if they watch my Vegas Aces channel. My favorite, that would be like saying, what's your favorite child? There's no way I can answer that. Both Scooter and Pip I love beyond anything. So both of them. Okay, one more question or trivia answer?
Let's do the trivia answer.
Okay. So is it spawning, which Jean says it's spawning. Mo the cat says it is springtime. And Delbrixon says, is it something fertile, something similar to fertile? And the closest thing is Mo the cat. So vernal means spring.
Now, the funny thing is verano, V-E-R-A-N-O, means summer in Spanish.
Oh, cool.
And the word for spring is primavera.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, yeah, but I basically didn't know.
Learn something new every day.
Yep.
Next question is, what is the name of the goddess of spring in Roman mythology? So if you guys know, put that in the chat. And our next question comes from Jean as well. And Jean says, what are some casino games either of you have invented from scratch? Mike?
Well, I invented what did I call it? Ties win Blackjack, and I invented Tiger Split Baccarat, and neither game got very far. And I've had a hand in the invention of many other games, but I was just hired to do the math and help with the game. So there's my answer.
I remember years ago, you showed me one of the games you invented, and I loved it so much. It was so fun and interesting. I really enjoyed that game.
What was the gist of it?
It was the Baccarat one.
Yeah, you might be talking about Tiger Split Baccarat, where you got four
Okay.
cards and split them into two Baccarat hands.
Okay. I don't remember, but I remember just having so much fun with it. Like I could play this all day.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't do very well at field trial in Kansas, which I don't think is a good place for a Baccarat game. And after that, a shuffle master who was marketing it lost faith in it. And if you ever try to sell a game after it does badly at field trial, all the odds are against you because the first question you will always get is how did it do at field trial?
Yeah. 100.
And
100%.
and you know every game inventor that doesn't do well at field trial always blames the casino, which including me. Let's just say that everybody's used to that excuse.
For myself, I can't go into it too much. I have invented and sold 3 casino games, but because I sold them, I have an NDA, so I can't tell you the name, the details. I can't tell you guys anything about it. But I can say I have invented and sold 3 games.
Okay. Well, here's something I wanted to ask the audience.
Okay.
Okay, I'm thinking about cutting my hair and going back to a normal haircut.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm going to survey the audience's opinion. And
Ooh.
why don't you ask the next question? But I'm going to look for a picture of myself with short hair to give you an idea of what I look like. Okay.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So our next casino question comes from Paul. And Paul says, on a previous live stream, you suggested retirement was near. What do you anticipate will happen to all of your fine advice and data on your website?
I'm sure that everything will stay up there. The owners, paid a lot of money for it, and I'm sure, why would they get rid of it? I think a better question is, might there be somebody else who becomes like a new wizard? That would be up to him. And I would I would recommend that shall we say, somebody follow in my footsteps. I don't know who, but yeah, but still May of 2025 is kind of the target date.
That's going to be so soon.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm looking forward to being retired, but okay, but yeah.
What
So
are you going to do when you're retired?
just do a lot of adventures.
You don't already do a lot of adventures?
Oh, I want to do much more.
Like what?
I travel the world. Like I want to hike the John Muir Trail, the whole PCT Trail, the Appalachian Trail. I want to bicycle all over the world. I want to be a traveler and climb mountains and try to I'm only going to have like so much time before I get too old. So
Are you going to have like a YouTube channel where you show us this, where we could
I
like join
haven't
you on your
decided
travels?
yet. Yeah, don't know. Okay, so how do I show you guys a picture? Do I?
If you look down on the bottom of your screen, it says to present. If you click present, it'll ask you to share the screen. And then it will come up for me, and then I'll put it up so everyone can see it.
Okay. Okay, what do you see on your end, Heather?
Okay, we got it.
Okay, what do you see?
I see a folder with a lot of pictures on it.
Okay, now what do you see?
A folder with a lot of pictures on it. Ooh, one of the pictures just came up.
Okay, maybe there's a little lag. Let me bring it back up. Do you see a picture of me in Hollywood?
Not yet. No. Nope.
What do you see?
A folder with a lot of pictures in it.
Huh.
But it came up for a second. Is there a way you could put it in front of the folder?
I did.
Oh, okay.
You're still just seeing the folder?
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm trying to open these files.
What if you minimize the folder?
Let's see. I don't seem to be able to.
Okay. Can you, on the folder, could you do view and then extra large icons? Oh, never mind.
No. Let's try one more thing.
Okay.
Slides. Don't think that's going to work. Share screen.
And you only have one screen, right?
I have two.
Oh, that could be the problem. Do you have an option of picking which screen to show?
Let's try this one.
Okay, if this doesn't work, should we just, oh, I think we got it.
Okay.
There we go.
So let me, okay. Okay, what do you see now?
Buffalo free feature.
Okay, let's wait a few seconds.
Oh, is this not what you wanted to show?
No.
Oh.
Because there should be something else over that. Well, let me close out that screen.
Okay.
What do you see now?
Nothing. Just us.
Well, let's just file this under technical snafus.
We tried.
Yeah.
So before we get on to the next question, let's do the answer to the trivia. And Soul Healing Sounds got it. The name of the Roman goddess for springtime is Flora. So congratulations. Woo. Good job.
Good job. I did not know that one.
Our next question is, let's see here. So on the first day of spring in the Northern Hemisphere, the sun rises directly over what part of the globe? So if you guys know that, put that in the chat. And our next gambling question comes from, let's see here. You are very close, Mike. That's not the answer, but you got the right idea.
How about this?
Let's see. Nope.
All right.
Okay, so our next question is from Eric. What is the best players club for video poker players off the strip? taking into consideration full pay machines, cashback offers, promotions, giveaways, that type of a thing?
It's not that I am out there playing at any of them, but I always recommend the South Point for having good video poker. And I can't speak to their player club that well, but but Bob Dancer used to always say nice things about it when I did Gambling with an Edge with him. So that's the best I can do with very limited information.
Okay. And then our next question comes from Paul. Thank you for the review of the casino on your cruise. Did you evaluate any of the other gambling typically offered in cruises like bingo, slot tournaments, deal or no deal, etc.?
No, they did do bingo, but I never played it. And I know there was some kind of a poker tournament, but I didn't play that either. And they also did a deal or no deal activity, but I didn't do that. So sorry, I don't have a good answer to that one.
No worries. Okay, so our next one comes from Paul as well. Have you had a chance to look at the rock, paper, scissors slot? I'm interested in knowing if it's truly a 50-50 chance to pick correctly, and if so, how do they get their edge?
Yes, I did play that. In fact, I have video footage of it. I've had it for like 3 months now.
Ooh,
It's kind of on my to-do list to do something with it, but I just haven't gotten around to it. But if you win, you don't win even money. You spin a prize wheel, and a lot of the prizes on the prize wheel are just basically a push. So yeah, I would say that if you win, you can probably expect to only get on average maybe, I don't know, like 90% of your bet back. So that's where they get the advantage.
good answer. Do you want to do one more, or should we see what the answer to the trivia is?
Let's see the answer to the trivia.
Okay, so our question was where? And we have several people put in their votes. Tropic of Cancer, which a lot of people put in here. The East is another one. On the equinox of the axis of the Earth, perpendicular to the sun. I love how detailed people are getting with this. But the correct answer to the trivia question is the equator, and Jean got that. Congrats, Jean.
Good job, Gene. I should have got that, but
You were close.
yeah, I think yeah, I know that any place between the top Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, that at one time in the year the sun will be directly overhead, and maybe it's directly overhead. In fact, if I could just kind of visualize the Earth like a ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do I have a ball here? Yeah. So this
It's
is the Earth
tilted.
here. So if this is, shall we say, the North Pole, on the spring equinox, let's say that the Earth is tilted like that, then yeah, it would be the Tropic of Cancer where you see it. Yeah, I probably shouldn't try to explain this live, but yeah, but those are the two places where the sun is directly overhead, and yeah, that's about all I can say about that.
Now, before we go on to the next one, we have a couple different questions or comments here. STSTST said, I vote to keep the hair long. He likes your long hair.
Do you mind if I give it one more chance to share the screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
And while you're doing that, Northern Jim says, I vote for a haircut, but at a hipster bar shop, and then get something like cool and edgy. So I like that idea.
Okay.
And then I think we had one more. So while you're doing that, I'll look
Okay.
at the other
Okay. I think this will
haircut.
work.
Okay.
Now
Oh, we got
let me
it.
see.
Yep, I think we got it this time. I see a picture of you standing next to a bunch of hands.
Okay, so that's the Chinese theater in Hollywood where celebrities put their hands and their footprints in cement. For example, I'm right behind Michael Jackson. And so that's what I look like with shorter hair. Here's me at the Winnie the Pooh star. Um, and here's me at a piece of art showing Frank Sinatra made out of Rubik's cubes, and there's a Marilyn Monroe one right next to it. That's maybe I shouldn't say her name, but she might be here watching the show. Um, here's
I
me with
love
Eddie
her.
Murphy,
Oh, wow.
and who is this?
I don't know.
That's Tom Hanks,
Oh, okay. I see it now.
and who's this?
I have no idea.
What was his name? Bradley Cooper.
Okay.
Um, and who's this?
The Rock?
Yep.
Oh, good. I got one. Thank God.
And,
I like
okay.
that picture.
Oh, thank you. All
Yeah.
right, so there you can have an idea what I look like as a normal person. Okay, and we can stop sharing. Okay, so how is the voting going overall with the audience?
As far as your hair goes,
Yeah.
Shane says long or short, just make sure your caricature on Wizard of Oz matches. It has short hair right now.
That hasn't been updated in like 12 years. I mean, I still have dark hair in my caricature. Um, so, well, Heather, what's your vote? And be honest.
I think I like your short hair better on you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for all the input on that.
Yeah. And then Candy says you do look much younger with shorter hair.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay, so shall we do another trivia question and then go back to these
Yeah, let's do another
casino
trivia.
questions? Okay, so this one is kind of hard. Which ancient buildings, which ancient building, just one building, was constructed facing the direction where the sun rises on the first day of spring?
Oh, I know.
You know?
I know.
Okay, let's see if you're right. Private chat. Sorry, you guys can't see the private chat. No, you're wrong. Oh man. That's what I would have thought the answer was. Honestly, if I didn't have the answers in front of me, I would have gone with what you said.
Okay.
Okay, so while we're waiting for you guys to put your answers in the chat, we'll do a few more gambling questions. And our next question comes from Northern Jim. I heard that one can count the dragon bet at Baccarat with a 40-1 payout if the banker wins with a 3-card total of 7 by tracking 8s and 9s +1 and 7s and 10s -1. Is that mathematical nonsense?
Well, I have a whole article about this on my website. So I'm going there now. Trying to remember how to do it. Card counting. Here's the Panda 8. I know it was.
Do you want to share your screen with that one too?
Okay, so with the dragon, Elliot, this is a rare time where I publish somebody else's work, but Elliot Jacobson wrote a big thing about counting the dragon, which I published on my site. And so he counts, it looks like he counts the 8s and 9s as +2 and the 4s through 7s as -1. And And again, there's a whole, if you go to wizardofodds.com/game/Baccarat/dragon bet with a hyphen between dragon and bet, it'll tell you all about it. But yeah, it's absolutely countable. It's maybe not so much of a practical thing to do because the count doesn't get positive enough to bet the dragon very often. So it's the kind of thing that in theory, yes, but in practicality, no. And also the Panda 8 is countable too, but the dragon is more countable. So there you go. Heather, can you hear me?
Can you hear and see me?
Okay, now I can.
Okay, I think I had this on mute.
But I didn't hear anything you said in like the last 30 seconds.
Well, okay, I don't remember half of what I said in the last 30 seconds, so let's just go to this question. STSTST says, if a progressive hits a plus EV, would you still consider it worth it to play even though the odds of hitting are still huge?
Well, this kind of was the situation recently with the Face-Up Pai Gow Poker progressive jackpot that had like an 80% player advantage, but all the value was tied up in a $6.4 million jackpot, and the odds of hitting it were like 1 in 650,000. So it was the kind of play that would probably cost you about $100 an hour to play it. And most professional gamblers I spoke to said, yeah, it's a very good value mathematically, but I'm not going to play it because the odds of hitting it are just too low. So you have to look at what is your wealth, what is your time worth, what's the probability of hitting it, and no one answer is going to be right for everybody. But you have to consider all those things.
Okay. And then going on to the next thing, a math test says that this is the funniest webcast ever. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Jean says long hair pulled back into Q is quite fetching on men. Amethyst replies, what?
What is meant by a Q in terms of hair?
Pulled back into a Q like a ponytail.
Okay. That's how I usually have it.
Yeah. And then a math test says, oh my God, don't tell him that. Okay, so let's see. Nobody here that I see has the answer. They have answers, but they're not the correct answers. So Delbrickson says, is it Beckham? And then it's not Beckham. And then he also says Acropolis. Not that as well. Thank you. I knew I was going to butcher that. The answer to the question is neither of those. The answer is the Great Sphinx.
I did not know that. Did anyone else say Stonehenge?
No, nobody else said Stonehenge.
I know there's something special about Stonehenge where the light goes through two different doors at a particular equinox. I don't remember the details.
I think it's the summer solstice.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So our next question is, what season of what day does spring end? So on what day approximately does spring end? If you get it like before or after, I'll accept it. But approximately what day does spring end?
How about my answer?
You got it, because we are doing a range of 3 days beforehand, and you got that.
Okay, I'm at least within the 3-day margin of error.
You're in the 3-day margin of error, correct? Okay, so our next question comes from Shane, And Shane says, I watched a documentary about people living under Vegas in tunnels. It sounds like it's a problem for casinos. Is this true? What about the people who live in Las Vegas? Does this impact their life?
I have a whole book on that. In fact, let me
You
see if it's on
do?
the shelf here.
Oh, but not a book you wrote.
No.
Okay, for a second I thought you wrote it.
I probably moved it to the garage. But yeah, there was a Vegas reporter. It might have been John Ralston who wrote a whole book about the people that live in the storm drain tunnels. And yeah, there we have miles and miles of them. And and what can I say? People live down there, and there's kind of like a society of people. And I've never been down there. And what can I say? I don't think it's a problem for the casinos because the people are down there in the storm tunnels minding their own business. I'm sure the casinos would rather have them there than walking around their casinos looking for credits on slot machines. And every time there's a big storm, despite the police kindly going down there and warning people to get out, people drown down there when there's a storm, and has no impact on my life, to be honest with you. And that's about all I can say about it. But it's a good book. I wish I could remember the title. It's something like Life in the Tunnels or something like that.
Yeah, it's the casinos. It's like as long as they're out of sight, they're out of mind. The recent probably 5 years, you've seen more homeless people on Las Vegas Boulevard, where that used to not be a thing. But I think the tunnels are sort of getting kind of overwhelmed with people. I've never been down there. I've never seen them. However, my neighbor who lived right next to me, she was from there. She used to be homeless, so she lived in the tunnels. And what she used to do is she would go back into the tunnels and find a puppy. And I was explaining this to my friend the other day, and she's like, found a puppy? You mean like a little puppy dog? And she brought it home. And I'm like, I need to clarify this. A puppy is basically a really cute homeless guy that you find and you take home with them, and then you take care of them, and that's like a puppy. So she would always bring home these puppies, cute homeless guys and everything, and they live with her for a while. So.
Okay, don't know what to say about that.
Just an experience. Okay, so our next question comes from John, and John says, "Hi, Michael. Although you're a man of numbers, have you ever made a bad bet? Do you have any degen, DEGN, gambling stories early in your career, or have you always played by the odds?"
Maybe degen stands for degenerate.
Oh, maybe.
I will say that sometimes I make negative bets. For example, on the cruise ship, I had some spare time and I played some heads up hold'em at the minimum $5 level just to kind of get a feel for the cruise ship and I don't know, lack of anything else to do. But I never bet significantly when I have a disadvantage. And do I have any great gambling stories early in your career? No really great stories. Yeah, when I was a card counter in my 20s, and I have some stories about that. But right off the top of my head, I can't think of a good one that jumps out at me. So it seems like so many people have such good Vegas stories, but they never happen to me for some reason. I tend to think that when I play, I concentrate really hard, even if I'm playing a simple game. People have commented that you look so serious. I didn't want to bother you while you were playing. So maybe that's the reason I don't attract a lot of fun when I play.
Well, it could also be the time that you play. I mean, you're not in the casino at like 3 a.m. when all the interesting stuff happens.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'm usually in bed by 10.
Yeah. And no, and people have to get drunk first and then things get interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What's the next trivia question?
Well, the answer to this trivia question, we have a couple people who got it. The person who won that is Delbrickson. And it is June 21st. So if you got it on June 20th, 21st, or 22nd, that's an acceptable answer. Because I know this it changes a bit. So yay.
Yay.
Okay. So our next trivia question is, what does the word equinox mean? What does the word equinox mean? So if you know, put that in the chat. Okay, so our next question, let's see if you got this. Yep,
All right.
you're right. You got it. Okay, so our next question comes from Okay, Source Keen. Hi, Source Keen. And he says, on the Buffalo slot machine that gives you the option to bet your winnings on a red or black card, is this truly a 50-50 proposition?
I do know that on the Buffalo games, if you have less than $1 in credits, it gives you some. In fact, I was just looking at this before the show and writing up the rules for Buffalo Link. But I will say that in Nevada, if there is a virtual or an electronic representation of playing cards, that they must be fair. Short answer is I don't know.
Okay. Well, that makes it easy. Our next gambling question comes from, this one is from Pam. Do you have any idea how these YouTubers afford to lose so much daily? So I guess Pam's talking about the people who play and then record their play.
Yeah. I know there's a whole bunch of people that do this, that post their videos playing slots on YouTube. And I have heard that the more you bet, it tends to be the more exciting your videos are, and therefore the more views you get. But how they can afford to lose whatever they lose, I don't know. You would just have to ask them. Maybe they just have a lot of money, or maybe they can't really afford to lose that money and they're overbetting their bankroll. I don't know.
I go for the latter. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's probably the case most of the time.
Yeah. So our next question comes from Technics. After playing 6-deck blackjack on a continuous shuffler for 3 hours, the dealer dealt herself 5 4s and a player had a 4. Would this indicate a shuffler malfunction, or was this just an extreme variance?
Extreme variance.
That's an easy one to answer. Okay, so our next question comes from this one is from Jason. These games, Heather, that you have developed, can you share if they are used worldwide or discrete locations? I have no idea. I have no clue. That makes that one easy too. I don't know what they do with it after I sell it. Mo the Cat says, is Miss Wizard up for retirement, or is that too personal of a question?
Well, she is 6 years younger than me, and I'm sure that she's going to work, keep working after I retire. And I would imagine I could picture her also retiring in her late 50s. I'm not sure. So yeah, short answer is I don't know.
I like these easy questions. This is like really fast. Okay. A lot of people are voting on your haircut.
Let's see.
Love that. Okay, John says, I play poker in underground Toronto. Some of these places have illegal slots. It's no secret that the RTP is like 70%, but these machines are from like the 80s. Is there a way to exploit these slots?
Yeah, I don't know what type of slots you're referring to. I do know that the bars in London used to have slots that guaranteed a certain RTP, and and I think the bartender or maybe even the player at certain angles could see like that there was a hopper full of coins, and if that hopper was like really full, the game would, shall we say, be more ripe to pay out. But I don't know anything about these Toronto games, so yeah. Short answer is I don't know there either.
Okay. Do you want to do one more question, or should we see what the answer to the trivia was?
Let's see the answer to the trivia.
Okay. So we had several people get it right. And the first person to get it right is a math test who says equal. So yes, it's
Yay.
equal time, equal night. Equal is perfect. So, woo.
So I said equal light because on the two equinoxes, that's when you have exactly 12 hours of light and 12 hours of darkness.
Yep, perfect. I love it. Good answer.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So our next question, trivia question, is this one. I don't know. Okay, it's easy. In the northern hemisphere, when they experience spring, what season does the southern hemisphere experience? So put your
So are you
answer.
saying that when it's spring in the northern hemisphere, what season is it in the southern hemisphere?
That's a much better way of saying it than what I
Okay.
did.
Am I right?
Yep, you're right.
Yep, that's an
Okay.
easy one.
Yeah, that one was pretty easy. I'll give you guys a better one on the next one. Okay, so while we're waiting for people to answer, our next gambling question comes from, let's see here. Got to find where we are. Oh, okay. This one's a fun one. Jean says, speaking of The Rock, what do you think about betting on pro wrestling?
I don't know much about it. I have a friend who says that the outcomes are determined in advance, and he says sometimes he knows. Um, and there are places where you can bet on this type of wrestling, and but most sports books don't allow betting on that. But he says, once in a while he just gets a lock. And I've asked him if he would tell me that information, but he said no. But yeah, that's about as far as I can take that one.
Okay. Our next question is from Shane, who says, have you ever met any of the greats like Arnold Snyder, Edward Thorpe, Ken Uston, Stanford One, Tommy Highland, etc.?
Okay. Arnold Snyder was a guest on Gambling with the Edge when I hosted it. And I believe I saw him at the Blackjack Ball quite a few times. And so, yes, there. I was at the Blackjack Ball where Edward Thorpe was nominated to the Blackjack Hall of Fame. And I had some short, pleasant conversation with him, and I just said how much I respected his work and I try to follow in his footsteps. Ken Houston I never met, but I'm a proud owner of his former driver's license, which
Oh,
I bought
wow.
from his daughter, as well as his Associated Press pass. Stanford Wong I know pretty well. I've had many conversations with him. He's a very nice guy, and he always answered my emails when I had one, and he really inspired me to do what I do. Is before Wong, there wasn't really anybody who just had such a no nonsense mathematical look at in his books of the casino games. It was just math, and I totally respected how he viewed casino games, and I model my whole presentation of math the way he did it, with the exception of Wong on dice. That one should be like an asterisk to his whole life story. And Tommy Highland, I never met him, but he gave me some advice when I had a dispute with the stratosphere. And yeah, so there's my answer there. I'm also very good friends with Don Schlesinger, if I may throw that out there. And yeah, so I'm proud to have met many of the greats that came before me.
Very cool. Okay, so I want to add my 2 cents too. I met them too, but that's only because it wasn't, what do you call it? I crashed the party. Like, I wasn't invited. I wasn't supposed to be there. I wanted to be there. And then I crashed the party, and it was the Blackjack ball after party. So I did that for several years for the fun of it, because I'm bored and that's how I have fun. And I became friends with someone there. And then he actually invited me to the Blackjack ball one year, and I got to meet Edward Thorpe. Only said like a couple words, but just the fact that he was sitting like next to me, I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then I met Stanford one, and same thing, really nice guy, like really, really nice guy. He was really cool. And yeah, all because I really shouldn't have been there, and I just wanted to crash the party.
All right, good question.
Yeah, that was a good question.
Okay, shall I show you how I do the magic trick?
Yes. Okay, let's see this.
Okay, so you truly can ask the audience member to, you might say you can roll the die, or you can choose whatever you want on top, and have them close the lid. And then here's the secret. You have to kind of tilt it this way, and the top lid of this is kind of see-through. So let me see if the camera can pick this up. Do you kind of see how it's a 5?
Yeah, we can see that.
Yeah. So the way I do it is let me go back this way. I say, okay, I'm going to put this in the big can, and you have to lift it up kind of high and get the angle so that you can see it. But you try to look at whoever you're doing this to as best you can, and then you put it in like this, and I caught a glimpse that it's a 5, and you have your eye as a magician. Your eyes are really important. The audience is going to look where you look. So if I'm sitting here staring at it, the audience is going to pick up how I do it. So you have to be very nonchalant about this one, and you can get this one in most like magic kits meant for kids, and I'm sure the magic stores have them too. So this is a staple in magic. But to people that aren't familiar with the trick, it's easy to do. It works almost every time, and yeah, it's just one that I like.
I love that. And it's so easy. It's just you can't tell how easy it is until you actually explain it, but that's part of magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
Okay.
So we only have a few minutes left. I have one more question for you. And this is from Gilamir.
Hi,
Hi.
G.
You're awesome. Okay. He says, any thoughts on the Mirage volcano being scheduled for demolition?
Well, first of all, I respect the free market, and it's private property. And if that's what the owners want to do, as long as they're not going to replace it with something that's a real eyesore, I have no problem with it. I will kind of miss the volcano, but they're going to replace it with an enormous guitar-shaped hotel building. And what can I say? In Vegas, nothing lasts that long. So, it is what it is. And, I have no strong feelings about it. Either way, had I been put to like a vote on it, I would have voted to keep the volcano. But ultimately, it's their property. They can do with it what they wish. Like I said, as long as it's not going to be an eyesore, much like I would like the right to paint my house a different color, but I would also respect that it can't be like a really ugly color like lavender. So that's my 2 cents.
You think lavender is ugly?
Yes. It's a horrible color.
Now I want to paint my room lavender.
It's almost as bad as orange.
I had orange. Where I lived last time, remember my orange walls? You saw that all the time. I
Yes.
had orange.
I know. And yeah, I was nice and I didn't say anything.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so would you like to do one more question, or would you like to figure out when our next live stream is going to be?
Oh, by the way, you can tell when a color is ugly that you don't see it on many flags. And how many flags have purple in them?
Or orange?
You have orange in the Irish flag.
Oh, okay.
And a good trivia question that nobody ever knows is what country does have purple in their flag? So I'll just throw that out there real quick.
If you guys know, put that in the chat and we'll tell you here in a second if you're right or not.
Yep. Okay, but as to the next live stream, so today is March 23rd, 3/23/23, palindromic date. Okay, how about April 6th?
Sounds good. So we will see you guys in 2 weeks. And again, if you put your questions at the very beginning, we are more likely to get to them. You are always welcome to come in early and put in your questions. I think an hour or two early is usually the best time before the show starts. And then Martin says, is there a good way to contact you if they have a question or a proposal?
You can go to Wizard of Odds and go to Contact Us and file it under a gambling question or a business proposal, either way, and it will get forwarded to me.
Okay. And then Shane also says, you have a dream life. Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. And I am thankful. So I appreciate that comment.
Yeah. Nobody has any flags, so we don't have any answers to that. Jay says, fine content as always.
Thank you.
And excellent. So thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank
really
you for everyone joining. The answer to my trivia question is the flag of the country of Dominica.
Okay.
In the Caribbean, and they have a illustration of their national flower on their flag that is a purple flower.
Oh, I love that.
So, okay, yeah. So again, thanks Heather, and thanks audience, and I'll see y'all in 2 weeks.
That sounds good.
Okay.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.